Hey everyone, I'm John from Talking Cardboard, and today I'm doing my quick roll. It was kind of a busy week, got a couple gaming days in. Gamed with the rest of the Talking Cardboard crew on Saturday, and we played some new and old games. The first one we hit up was Jeff's version of Discover Lands Unknown. Basically what this means is like every box of Discover has completely different scenarios and tiles in it, so that's kind of a unique experience every time you play. I think this time, instead of being in like a forest type environment, we were out in a desert, and our quest ended up being like finding a camel that we had to stock with food and water in order to escape. Unfortunately, our plans didn't work out too well. We kind of split up 2 and 2 and set out in search of water and other items. Some of our guys got hit with some pretty bad threat cards that prevented them from being able to heal, which was frustrating when we couldn't find out a way to get medicine that could get rid of that status card. But other than that, I thought the game was pretty fun. I still think it kind of ranks somewhere in the middle on games I like. I think some of the tiles have not enough stuff going on. You flip a tile up and it might just be more spaces to move on without any wood, rock, or food to actually even harvest. Play through a couple more of these new scenarios, and I think it'll give me a better feel on what I think about the game. But still a fun time, even though we ended up losing the scenario. The second game we played briefly was a simple favorite of mine, TransAmerica. You're just drawing these 5 city cards, and you have to connect a city for each region between blue, red, or I guess they correspond to a region of the country. Midwest, East Coast, Central, Southwest, or more West Coast. And basically all you're doing is playing 2 tracks a turn on tracks you've already played, or if you have connected to someone, you can play off each other's tracks. And basically the only thing you gotta ever think about is when to cross a mountain or a river, because that takes your entire turn for... it's 1 track, but it counts as the 2 for your entire turn. So basically the strategy is figuring out the best times to cross a river or mountain, in case someone else might that you connect to, you can force them to do it. Or also, what is the best time to connect up to a person's railroad to allow each of you to use each other's progress that you've made so far in the game. But overall, fun game. I mean, it can be as many rounds as you want it to be. I think officially you have a little train you put up at the top at 13 points. And after a round ends, when someone connects all their cities, you count up the remaining rails it would take you to get to the cities you have left, and you lose points based on that. And once someone hits 0, they're out of game, but you keep playing until everyone, except for one person, one person's left standing, is the winner. So, fun game, simple, but still really fun. The final game we played last weekend was Blackout Hong Kong, and this is the second time I've played it. I think we are getting a better hang of it. We know for sure there's a few minute rules that we've been missing along the lines with like the scouting mechanic that you have in there. But it's overall so far a pretty fun game. It's a zone control, deck building, hand management kind of game. I don't know. It's got a lot of things going on at once, but the player board has the 8 rounds pretty well laid out, I think. You just progress up them. I mean, it just goes in order of basically playing out some of your operators that can go do different things for you in the city. Then you just basically reveal them, do their actions. Then you're out there trying to complete objectives or scout the regions, which can lead to either extra bonus points or like extra resources that you're finding, which makes sense thematically as you're sending guys out to scout. The only downside of scouting is you'll lose one of your team members to the hospital, so you gotta working a way to find med kits to heal them up, which I think is pretty cool. You also get points when you revive someone out of the hospital and back into your hand that you're using to play them from. But yeah, overall, I think really good mechanics. You're just trying to cordon off these zones of the city with your color cube. And as soon as you do, you basically unlock bonus actions you can take at the end of the turn. Or there's also other missions you complete that give you actions at the end of the turn that can be very beneficial. And at the end, it's just kind of whoever has the most victory points wins the game. But so far, we've been having a good amount of fun with this. I think we have a playthrough or two left before we completely understand the rules and are playing them correctly, which will be nice to finally get that figured out. So my second night of games was Thursday night with some co-workers, and gotta say the first game we whipped out was my all-time favorite, I think, for simple games, and that was Queen Domino. Again, just, easy domino game. You're matching up these kingdoms, which are plains, tiles, or woodlands, or you've got water, swamp, and mountains. You're just trying to optimize your tiles so that you're scoring points by connecting them to all together with these crowns on them, which multiply the number of tiles you have by the number of crowns to get your points at the end of the game. There's also orange tiles that allow you to build special buildings that can give you, like the queen, which gets you discounts on more buildings, or it gets you bonus points at the end for one of your kingdoms. Basically, it just counts as a crown towards that kingdom. Really fun game, simple to learn. I think the only thing that's difficult that people have a hard time wrapping their minds around are those orange tiles and what you can build on there and what buildings are actually worth the money that you're trying to spend there. Because you're also trying to, tax your kingdoms with your knights to get more money constantly, and I think people get hesitant on buying something expensive without knowing how that's going to really affect their end game scoring, especially obviously new players. But once you've played it a few times, again, really fun, really simple. One of my top games, so glad I got to get that out again, and I think it was couple coworkers second or third time playing it now, and it definitely makes for more competition and a much more intense game, which is fun. I think the only other game we played that night is we played some more TransAmerica, and well, I've already talked about that, so I don't need to go there. Other than the board game realm, I have been playing Magic the Gathering online still. Really having a lot of fun with that. Still finding decks I like with the new War of the Sparks set, which is very Planeswalker heavy, but also, ties really well into the two previous Ravnica sets that have been released with the guilds, and just having a blast with that. Just a quick look at some of the decks I've been playing. So I've been playing a deck I found from... This is a deck I kind of borrowed, and edited a little bit towards what I have for cards from online. It's a blue, black, red Grixis deck, and I think it's pretty fun. It's got two of the best, what I would think are some of the most interesting planeswalkers in the set right now, with Nicol Bolas and Ugin. Hence the Twin Dragons name I've thrown on here. Both very good, very heavy control removal deck. Not much in the way of actual creatures. More a lot of hand discard and forcing your opponent. I think with Thought Erasure you're controlling what you're pulling out of their hand, and then pretty much every other card either blows up creatures, artifacts, enchantments, and then once you get the planeswalkers out there, you're just, throwing out more creature destruction or planeswalker destruction, and even generating some more creatures with them to finally win the game. So that's my first deck that I've really been enjoying. I think my other direct is an Esper deck, so that would be white, black, blue. Another one I've actually been playing a lot more than the Twin Dragons. More mid-rangey, but it's got a lot of the same themes. You're doing a lot of control. You've got these Thieves of Sanity in there that are hitting your opponent, and then you're allowed to exile one of their cards and then play it later on for just a straight-up colorless mana equal to its converted mana cost. Really fun deck, a lot of synergy. Few cool planeswalkers in here with Sorin, who basically gives all your creatures lifelink, or brings creatures back from the dead. And then you got obviously Teferi, who is pretty powerful. Lets you get rid of control your opponent's permanents, or give you more lands for during their turn, basically. His ultimate's also super powerful with exiling permanents your opponent's controls whenever you draw cards, which is obviously really good. But yeah, another really fun deck. Really been having fun with MTG Online and trying to just build up some gems so I can start doing some War of the Spark drafts. So the last game I've trying to get back into is Hearthstone. Recently there were just a bunch of buffs to some of the weaker cards that I think certain classes really needed. I actually haven't made a deck with any of the new buff cards. Instead, I've been playing this secret hunter deck that I've actually been having a lot of fun with for a while now. You're just playing out beasts. This is not even the right deck, I don't think. Or is it? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Secret Hunter right here. Very similar to another deck I played. But you're obviously just playing out, your traps throughout the game with trying to buff up the Secret Keeper here with those traps. It's pretty mid-rangey. Obviously, looking at my Magic decks, I really love control, mid-range. Definitely fits that theme with Hearthstone. And just for fun, I've got Zul'jin in here. You just basically cast all your spells that you've played throughout the whole game. Can be pretty interesting. It's the targets, as it says, are chosen randomly, so anything that you did direct damage with could very well tag your own creatures, even yourself. So that's kind of, some luck-based thing there, but still a really cool, fun card. But I would definitely say that since the update happened last week, that the meta's definitely been much more even. You're seeing a lot more different decks. Paladin's back. It's got some mech decks that are pretty cool and useful. But other than that, yeah, that's all I got really to say on Hearthstone right now. And that basically concludes everything I've played this week. Hopefully get more gaming in this weekend since it's pretty early still. And we'll see if we have another quick roll coming up next week after this weekend takes place and get some gaming in, hopefully. So from everyone at Talking Cardboard, I hope you enjoyed this video and have a good week.